Welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And I still want to talk about kind of like the difference between readers and consultants, or I would say, you know, uh, psychics. So in the New Age world, words get interchangeable. You know, uh, we think all these different labels like psychic, medium, clairvoyant, uh, downloads, uh, guides, masters, you know, gods, angels. All this stuff kind of gets jumbled together, and a lot of people take creative license. So we're all coming from our own perspective. We all have our own construct, and within this structure on how we perceive the unlimited reality, we have like our go-to keywords that help build the structure and we communicate to each other. And the reality of it is each word has a personalized definition. So a lot of times when we're speaking from our personalization, the information, so this is just really great to understand communication as a reader, as a client, and then just in general. Uh, so when we speak from our personalization, there's a lot of confusion when we text from our personalization. So it's kind of glued together with this assumption called agreements. When I say my guide uh, is extraterrestrial, who has no planet, who actually lives in space, so there is no home world, we all think, we all had different ideas of what that entity looked like. Uh, okay, now I'm going to tell you this entity in a bigger pattern, in a more broad perspective, is beyond fifth dimensional, doesn't need a label, doesn't need a name, and is actually a part of me. We're connected through time, through space, and beyond time and space into the transpersonal, something, the quantum level of reality. So this is a quantum being who shapeshifts to meet the environments and needs of whatever he's doing. He's a completely free being. Okay. Uh, does that is a truth of mine? I'm just sharing that with you. Uh, and but it doesn't then translate into all my readings are more accurate, or because I know this about myself and have access to this other kind of like existence simultaneously happening, doesn't mean I'm more gifted or special, doesn't give me more power over you. Okay. um why am I connecting to this being in this time and space? It was just to say hello. It was just to broaden my perspective and say, and to validate in the realm of all possibilities. Yes, that is a possibility playing out, and he's having a lot more fun. I'll tell you that. Okay. So we as humans get very serious about what we do. We get, and I could say that is what aging is. That is what adulting is. Buckling down and getting serious. But we all know things that age die. I'm going to repeat that. We all know things that age die. So we need to keep in balance. Why are they dying? Is because they're taking themselves too seriously. It doesn't mean that you're a joke. It just means be a little bit more flexible. You know, we have this narration that kids are born gifted and connected and more psychic. And as I look back through my life, I can say, yeah, that's all true. But I can look with logic and say, well, what's happening? Well, I'm having anxiety about my bills. Well, I've dimmed my light, narrowed myself down, let outer circumstances be a constraint instead of a permission slip. Instead of shining brighter, I dimmed my light. That's what's gone on. My priorities have shifted. My attention has gone here to here to here and distracted and got dispersed. So it's kind of hard to be super psychic and fun uh, when I'm the one who's poked holes in the bottom of the ship and sunk my own ship. With this knowledge of self reflection, I know exactly what to do. Patch up the holes. You know, first I need to, if I really want to keep that ship. So this is actually very more metamorph, uh, very symbolic of why people are depressed, why people actually die, why people die yet are still alive. Their ship is sunk. It takes a lot of energy to bring that ship back up, clean it up, make it good as new again, and sail it. So you must have some sentimental tie to want to do that. A lot of people just die and get a new boat. Okay? So, interesting detour. Um, Seemingly random, huh? So, consultations. When you're at the level of psychic consultant, you have a connection with, I would call it fifth dimensional reality, the quantum field, your higher self. You know, psychic abilities is your own ability to escape time. And I would be what I call unconscious astral projection. And you move yourself forward and backwards in time on infinite timelines. And you report back what the information is. And I knew this at a young age when I started my psychic career as a card reader. And the cards weren't giving me too much. So instinctively, I just used my abilities. I would tell people, kind of like conscious remote viewing, without the meditation and the breathing and the yoga. I just could remote view, oh, here's your dog. I could remote view into someone's mind, read their mind, and this is what they're thinking. Um, this is what I'm getting. Uh, I could remote view kind of like back in time, forward in time. I didn't have limits when I was a teenager. So I remember I didn't have an ego about it. It wasn't my label. It wasn't my title, career path title, psychic, card reader, medium. So it wasn't like that. And there wasn't really a lot of money being exchanged. It was more about the joy of reading, the joy of, I could even call it a cross communicator. Because you can cross communicate between time and space, between like unlimited. All I had to do was just reach out with my mind, and I would do that, and people would be blown away, and they're like, "How do you do that?" And I'm like, "I just kind of like feel. I reach out with a mental feeling, and then I just share what comes through." And so, leaving it open, leaving it creative, um, not worried about are they going to pay me or how they going to react to what I say, because it was fun and creative. It flowed and was very easy to do this stuff. And I had a personal interest. My interest was, how does this work? I know it works. Can all people do this? I want to do that. Am I psychic? So even with all this information and access, I still want to know, is someone born psychic? So I had my own curiosities, my own investigation. And I've always had this. It wasn't religious based. It wasn't magical based. Like, I didn't believe in magic or disbelief. And I didn't believe these were spiritual things going on where you had to purify and chakra. Like, I wasn't in that world. I was raised on a farm. I'd say in a very traditional uh way. And so I wasn't exposed to everything that's happening now, where all these people are witches and all these people are magicians and all these people are saints and all these people are yoga people and the chakra system. Like, if I wanted to learn about chakras, I had to read a book. I had to drive into town, go to the bookstore or used bookstore, go through the shelves and flip through the pages and feel like just kind of intuitively, instinctively go for it. And then I didn't hear, you have no other reference but yourself. And so then however you took that information was the reality of it. And so that was a blessing, honestly, in today's age of information overload. So if someone said, like, you're reading a book, hey, there's a hill. On the hill, there's this tree. By this tree, there's a rock. Okay, what type of tree did you visualize? Mine looked something like an aspen tree. Someone else did an oak tree. Someone else did a pine tree. And so much was so personalized, subjective. We read the same words, but our experience of it was completely unique. So there's no conformity, and yet it's also so true, so authentic. So we can all be reading the same books and get totally different information out of it. We could all then sit down for a cup of tea and say how great the book was for us and how we leveled up. And I leveled up 8%. Someone else, I leveled up 10. Someone else was like, that was so mind-blowing, I think I hit a whole 20%. And then we could all drink our tea and go, that was such a good book. So we can come to this agreement. But really what was going on was so, you can't even measure it, And so I feel like there's a lot of that. Why did I even say that? Is because we're opening up our minds to, so I think like when someone takes that power position and says, I'm your guru, I'm your teacher, I'm your guide, I'm your healer, I'm your shaman, I'm your doctor, I'm your psychic, I'm your reader, I'm the one who can see, I'm the one who knows. It could all be true, but it also is a very narrow hallway you're forcing yourself through. It's very limiting and confining, is what I'm saying. And then your mind might just have to agree. And then you both agree. And then you go on an adventure together with you and your psychic, trying to manifest the love of your life, ignoring all the red flags. So and so didn't show up on time. Oh, there's a lot of resistance. And it's like, because you're forcing it. You and your reader are forcing it, manifesting, making it real, because you both have an agenda. You want what you want, and your reader, doctor, healer, shaman, wants that for you for their own sake, not your sake, for their own sake, because they're living out that dream. They're experiencing themselves as that. So a king needs it needs the people to rule. You can't be the president with no one voting for you. Okay? You can't be a super psychic unless everyone tells you you're the super psychic. So you need people to have an interaction with. And we all have our own agenda, and it's all self-serving. So realize this. Your reader is going to sell you a healing package, a clearing package. There's an agenda there. It's self-serving. Well, I just so happen to also do entity removal and cord cuttings. I just also happen to do energy healings. I just also happen to, you're buying all these services and packages because we live in a service industry. Um, you know, I just so happen to have all these medications for you to take after I've told you who you are, what your problem is, and backed it up with this narrative. So, is this all bad? No. I'm just saying you could find yourself in a situation a lot worse when you start listening to other people so much and not filtering that info. So, let's put that down. That's the dangers of readings. And then I think in our culture, we kind of unconsciously put ourselves in that position. I feel like I need to be the police officer and tell you where to go. You know, I need to be the teacher. I need to be the one who knows. I need to inform. No, you don't. Well, then what am I doing here, right? Now let's move into consultant. So, a consultant, you can bring, so it doesn't always have to be about questions and answers. It's not all about healing and fixing you. It can be. There's more diversity, it's more flexible. Um, they use all their skills and powers. Of course, I'm going to use my star guide, my multidimensional space dude, to help us out. Of course, I'm going to use, but I actually have my own abilities. I'm actually psychic. um, on a scale, okay, you know. So without my guides, without tools, I can see things, I can know things, I can feel things. Now, together with you, we can fill in some of those blanks, you know, and you can, so I'll be like, literally, I'll be like, I see this dark blue cloud right where your shoulder is. As I look deeper on your clavicle, your neck bone, uh, I see a hairline fracture. Like I see a dark line. And this is from real clients, okay? This is real truth, real experience. She looks at me and she's like, "You're the only psychic who's ever seen that. Out of all the healers and shamans I've gone to, you're the only one who saw that I actually had a broken collarbone, And she told me the story about it, and then so it went on and on. I'm like, I see an invisible wedding ring on your hand. And she's like, yeah, that's why I came to you today. My ex boyfriend is a practicing wizard and he married us in the astral plane in this dark dimension. And I'm feeling the effects of that. I feel drained and I feel cloudy and I don't feel well. And I was like, she's like, can you do anything about it? And all I can do is say, well, I will try. If I can see it, then I'm interacting with it on whatever level that is. To witness something, to focus on it, is to automatically change it. Okay, so yeah, and then we went on and on and on in our so it started off. So there were various things going on. It had nothing to do with the system. It had everything to do with abilities. It had everything to do with dimensions, all in one, as just a person. And we worked together. The power scale was more equalized. Yes, I have these abilities, but I need to actually check in with you. Uh, and then we need to go. So there's a transformation that happens in a consultation. You come in one person, you leave another. Uh, your level of awareness, yes, your validation, and the transformation of co-creation together is, is so I would say that's the number one difference. It's not exactly telling you how to get down the hallway, that hallway, because you know what? There's another hallway that's just as valid, another hallway that's just as valid. So in a consultation, you get more information, but I that type of information is up to you how you wish to go about that. So you're empowered to make choices. You say, "Tell me what to do." I say, "I can't do that." But I could show you what I see. Tell me how do I live my life? Take responsibility for my life. Is the number one, so 80% of your clientele, in some form or fashion, they're saying, "Help me by you taking my burden. I want to make you responsible. I want to blame you. I want to praise you and blame you. I want to raise you up as a Christ, and then I want to turn it upside down and sacrifice you." And so that's the misuse of a psychic, of an empath, or whatever you want to call it. It's the incorrect use. But this is how we use people. We use people like products. We use people like objects. Uh, so I feel like in a consultation, you the power gets more balanced, but you still keep yourself honorable and tuned into spirit, however you call all that. And then you stay flexible with it. So it's more of a process. It's like, so you can consult people on relationships, you can consult people on healthcare with their dog. Like every possibility is open to psychic information coming in through you. You channel it, you use your own set of abilities, you use your own wisdom, you use your own experience through life. You're like, yeah, let's just talk. So there's different levels you're playing with. It's like very ordinary. Okay, your boyfriend's pattern has changed. So on the 3D normal level, that signals they're not that interested. That's just the way it is. Sorry, their video game is way more important than you. Like, tough. You know? So, I think. So, with being psychic, you have to be really open minded. So, that means your own model of reality sometimes has to get put on the side to expand together. It's like, so instead of me just walking you down that hallway to the direction that you tell me to take you, I want to go through that red door, Mr. So and so. Show me. The reader will show you. But a consultant says, "But what about the red door and the yellow door and the blue door? And you know what? This hallway is actually pretty wide and there's lots of rooms. Uh, some of them we should explore, some of them we shouldn't. That's for sure. I'll get a sense about that. So let's just kind of go on this journey together." And it's not about fixing you, it's not about healing you, but those things will probably happen. So it's more holistic. It's like, what's really stopping you, honestly, is, your sense of self-doubt. Well, that sounds really basic. Yeah. But what is self doubt? It's not believing in yourself. Why don't you believe in yourself? And so within a consultation, the psychic gaze gets turned on you. Well, that's scary. I've never had a truthful, open conversation with my mom. I've never had a truthful, open conversation with my boyfriend. And you, the psychic, who's having truthful, open conversations with your angel, and and you who see, you who feel, now that psychic gaze gets turned on you. The mirror starts interacting back instead of being kind of like a zombie, dead object that you just use. I want to look at my face. Mirror, mirror on the wall, show me who's the prettiest of them all. Good. Now I will keep you, mirror, but if you show me something different, I'll break you. This is how we use our psychics. In a consultation, the mirror says, "You can't break me. I am you. You can't break me. I'm more than you. And so then so we know, like, the mirror's face looked like a mask inside. It looked like this hollow, mysterious face. Now it transforms into a dragon. Now it transforms into an elf and says, I can be anything I want. I'm a multidimensional being. I am more powerful than you. The mirror existed before you did. You came to me, you put your money down, and now I see all your injuries. I see how you made them. I see how you will heal them. I can't tell you what to do, but I can show you. And I can show you. And I can show you. So I think that's a lot different than all the card readers online just telling you. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you one road. You got a one-way ticket to wherever they're taking you. In a consultation, I'm going to show you all these doors. I'm going to show you how wide the hallway is. I'm going to show you this was just one level in a skyscraper that goes all the way up and all the way down. Now you might get scared. You're like, you can hear my heartbeat? Yeah. You can see it. You can see the energy around my heart? Yeah. And I can see your spinal cord, and I can see your tubes are tied, and I can see your 3 abortions, and I can see this dark mass that looks like a disease that's growing to be seen so rawly. This is why. So, in a culture that fears truth, in a culture that fears honesty, we go to war against it. We feel triggered. We feel vulnerable. We feel stripped. We feel so when you start to feel seen, you start to get you will feel shame, you'll feel humiliation, you'll feel powerless, you'll feel exposed. Aren't those all the words we use when someone is a rape victim? When we look at abusive situations, we fight for that power to be concealed. Privacy is a big deal. Well, when you're really with people who are psychic, they see through all of that. And so you're going to get to have a relationship with the reader. Why would I throw down cards and point to an astrology chart and talk, and build a wall between us? That is the opposite of what psychic consultant or full body channeling and mediumship is about, or truly sitting at your guru's feet, your mentor's feet. What really is going on is you're having an energetic exchange, but you're having a sacred, ethical. So when we throw in sacred, it's this implied ethical, moral connection. And so this could actually be really important for how you filter out people in your life and how you choose. If you're going to put someone in a power position, you be my doctor, you be my therapist, you be my shaman, you be my healer. The first question is this person safe? Is there a safe environment? Do they hold themselves in a way that's safe? Do they speak a language to me that's safe? Do I feel, instead of humiliated, shamed, wronged, dumb, weak in their presence, do I feel equal? Do I feel good about me? Can I share my truth? So there's people who can't do that with their own family members, their own loved one. You're in a 20-year marriage and you can't have an intimate conversation about how you truly feel and think. And now you go to a true psychic or a reader or whatever, and you're still playing that game. Why? How do you think the mirror, how do you think your consultant is going to react to that? They're like, dude, you're wasting my time and your time. You're still going to pay for it. But you're wasting our time together. and you're going to feel robbed and blame me, and I'm going to feel robbed and hopefully forget you. So if you want better readings, let's look at that. And so really that's what the consultant will do. They'll say, let's look at that. These are some very fundamental things that should have been cleared up in your childhood. You should be courageous, strong, have faith in yourself, and understand all these things that you're shaming yourself with were necessary. You don't need to beat yourself up for them. But yeah, you don't need to, you can take pride in who you are. They don't discredit you as a person. I see you. I see your potential. I see your growth. I see opportunity. I see expansion. I see possibility. And I need you to get on that same page with me. And you're going to feel a whole bunch better. Now, when I show you the yellow door, you can see it too. Now, when I show you your potential, your self-worth, you can see it. The reader can't do that. The reader isn't in relationship with you. The reader is in relationship with their tools. The reader is in relationship with their psychic link, not exactly all that information, the link, and you, and their tools at the same time. So let me get into more advanced readers, more advanced psychics. But the integration happens, I believe, in consultations. So everyone is intuitive, everyone is gifted at different levels, and we use that to raise our kids. We use that to get to work on time. We use that to excel in our job. You'll find yourself saying, I kind of knew what my client wanted, and so I showed him these pair of shoes over here. I knew I needed to speak to this lady in a particular way. There were some physical cues, but for some reason, I just felt I needed to adjust my tone of voice. So you're using your intuition, you're using your psychic consultant all day long, every day. It's just when we're getting to these other issues, sitting down with a trusted person who allows themselves to be so open, flexible, free, with possibility, is kind of what more a psychic consultant is. And this is where I see the benefits. And so, yeah, that's the big difference. So if you're the reader and you're like, I'm not getting everything out of my tarot deck, I'm not getting everything out of astrology, I want to empower the people, think about being a consultant